All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Movie Backlot Podcast. Pretty much, this is the movie podcast where me, Alexander, and Dylan get together every single week, or we try to. We missed the last 2 weeks, but we get together to discuss the box office numbers, what happened in the world of movie news, and we also dive into what's coming out this week and what is up for Blu-ray release that's worth talking about. How are you guys doing? And Dylan, Alexander, how are you guys doing today? Thumbs up from Dylan.
Oh,
How about you, Alexander?
I was
Drinking.
swallowing.
well, since I don't have
talk.
video feed, all I will say is I am fucking tired.
Oh man, I am hot. Like you can see the sweat. It's 90 degrees in New York and it's muggy. It's horrible. So before
wow.
the show started, I was letting Dylan know that I didn't go to the movies this weekend. Just had no interest. I didn't want to go to the movies this weekend. I saw the ones that I really wanted to see last weekend. Before we get to our box office numbers, you guys can find us on iTunes, Movie Backlot Podcast, Stitcher, everywhere. iTunes podcasts are available except for Google Play because I haven't put it there yet. Maybe I'll have to figure that out. That's just a new way of doing it, and I don't know how to do it yet. So I didn't go to the movies this weekend. I know Dylan did because we talked about it before the show, and I saw Alexander put some reviews up, so I know you did. So for the first couple movies, it's going to be all you guys. Let's start. I'm going to just do the top 5, and then we'll just discuss the movies. I think that'll make it a better format. So number 1, oh, a train's passing by. Number 1, X-Men Apocalypse made $65 million. Number 2, Alice Through the Looking Glass made $28.1 million. The Angry Birds movie made $18.7 million. Captain America still in the top 5, making $15.1 million. And Neighbors 2: Sorority Rising made $9.1 million. I don't have its total gross bite right now, so I'm not sure if it's like doing well or not. But that's the top 5. Now, Alexander, you do want to get into some things about the second movie on this list, but since you guys both did see the first movie on this list,
Dylan most recently and me 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So you have your review up on your channel, so people.
Yeah, and I already talked about it the last time we did the show. So,
so I'll let
I guess I'll leave the floor open for Dylan.
Oh, before you go, Dylan, I'm gonna say why I didn't go see it, my reasoning, and this is purely not what I should do. I saw the bad word of mouth, and all the marketing seemed very Jennifer Lawrence heavy, and I'm starting to get to the point where Jennifer Lawrence is annoying me because she's in a lot and in a lot of talk shows and she's everywhere, and it bothered me seeing her in the marketing because for the storyline of Apocalypse, and maybe it did it well. And from the reviews, I just kept hearing that it was a lot of stuff in here, and it felt maybe over bloated, and that it wasn't paced as well as it could have. So that's the reason I didn't see it, and I will see it. There's nothing real big coming out this upcoming week that I'm excited to see. So maybe this upcoming weekend I'll go. But now, Dylan, you told me about what you thought of the movie before the show. What do you think?
Okay, so just for some background, going into seeing this, I watched First Class 2 nights before, and then Days of Future Past the night before. I'd seen them before. I love both those movies. First Class is my favorite X-Men movie. Days of Future Past is my second favorite X-Men movie. And Apocalypse is definitely worse than both of them, but I still think it's a satisfying conclusion to that trilogy. It's the worst of them, and I feel that a lot of the bad word of mouth is due to disappointment of it not living up to how good the first 2 installments of the trilogy are, and just that the standards for superhero films have risen, because this movie is definitely a lot. I think there's no doubt that this movie is a lot better than a lot of movies that have been fresh on Rotten Tomatoes in terms of the superhero genre. It's much better than like Spider-Man 3. I think it's a lot better than like
That
Thor.
could be because we are becoming spoiled due to Marvel, if we're being honest. So that is why the Rotten Tomato scores are the way they are, is because people's expectations have
We expect more.
Yeah, now we expect more. Back when Spider-Man 3, we were like, well, what could we have expected? We got 2 good ones. This last one's not as good, so it's like, what does it have? Like a 65, the third one or something like that?
61.
Yeah, so it's like, well, it's middle of the road. But now we're realizing that Spider-Man 3 is like more like a 40 to 30% goodness.
But,
kind of
I mean,
movie.
really, who's really gonna judge Rotten Tomatoes? Like, if you go to Rotten Tomatoes as you,
because everybody in their
Yeah,
mind,
the world
So-
bases
everybody,
whether
at
the
least,
movie's good or not off.
at least the groups that I'm in, that's what people throw up at, and I throw it too. But you also have to take into consideration that the way that Rotten Tomatoes does their score, it's not that everybody is giving it a 40 and it's like one of the worst movies ever. It's that every critic gave it a 2.5 out of 5, which is a middle of the road
Yeah.
movie.
Well,
but if every critic gives
well,
it that, the
even
movie's gonna get a
so-
0.
even so, if you only judge a movie based on Rotten Tomatoes ratings,
I mean, that's what I
you are incapable of independent thinking.
I mean,
It's not that you're bad; you're probably just young, or
hey,
you don't.
I purposely did not go see Apocalypse because I was like, damn, this marketing looks awful and the reviews are not good. And
Yeah, the marketing for the movie
Rotten Tomatoes
did it no
did play an influence in that because, but then again, I do go more about based on
Well, I mean-
YouTube reviews now than I do Rotten Tomato scores because
Yeah,
I can
see, you
align
like
with other YouTubers. They're like,
you defended your case, and
I
like
think.
I mean, if you
Oh, you can finish.
like those that only go by Rotten Tomatoes ratings, like you're not bad. It's just you really need to think for yourself when
I
it
think
comes to
what-
like movie ratings.
I think the way it works for Rotten Tomatoes is that maybe they're not like, what do we call the people that would me and Dylan were talking about that would be confused at the Rogue One marketing and all that other stuff.
The general audience.
The general audience might, if they go to like on my apps, I have Fandango and I have Flickster and all these other things. I look at that, the Rotten Tomatoes score is just there. So if I see, I'm looking at the times and I'm like, oh, well, this movie has a 56. Maybe let's not watch that one. I think that's how people are looking at Rotten Tomatoes more general. So if you're not going out of your way and you're just kind of looking for tickets and then Fandango showing that it got a 56 on Rotten Tomatoes and Flickster and wherever else you would buy your things and they're giving like 50, that's when you'd be like, oh, well, this movie's not as good. Let's go watch the Angry Birds movie because I think that's not. Is that about higher or is that lower?
It's like a 63, but
There we
it's
go.
still
That
higher.
one must be better.
No, it's
because
in its 40s.
Or is it its 40s?
Oh,
Oh, well,
it
it was
dropped.
at 63 at one
It
point. My
dropped.
bad.
Dude. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to hard to determine the general audience because the general audience before gave $1 billion to the first Alice in Wonderland, and then they said,
Well,
fuck
I
this other
think
one.
there's different metrics.
Yeah,
Are we going into
No,
that?
no,
now?
Tomatoes.
Dylan
No,
hasn't
no.
given his thing yet. I just
No.
kind of went on a tangent there. Sorry.
I just want to say that I was using Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's important to use Rotten Tomatoes in order to say whether a movie was critically well received or not, or it is a good indicator usually of quality, depending. So you get to see you get to see what the percentage of how many people liked it. I was just using it to illustrate that our standards for superhero films have
Do you
increased
guys
over the
like
last decade.
Metacritic's way of doing it?
No,
Metacritic's
I don't
way
pay
of doing
attention to
it is just
Metacritic.
giving you the average score of all the critics.
I think Metacritic.
I don't like that because Rotten Tomatoes has that already.
No, the
in the
average
score.
score, not the.
No, yeah,
Not the general.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes has the average score underneath the
Oh,
tomato
I didn't
meter.
know that. I didn't look. I mean, maybe I did. Maybe
So I just looked there after look at the percentage, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
all right.
on.
Continue with
Well,
your review or your.
So I really enjoyed the movie. I had a great time watching it when the X-Men theme played, like after the intro, and the intro to this movie in my opinion was like incredible, and I was on the edge of my seat. It's really brutal. This movie in general, I'm shocked this movie's PG-13. Besides for the fact that it's called X-Men.
Really?
Because this movie has some scenes where I was like, oh shit, they got away with that? Like,
Is there violence? Like, is
there's
there like
some
brutal
stuff.
violence? Like, is there blood in
There's
this
some-
movie?
there's blood.
Really?
There's some parts that I was like, oh shit, that's in the PG-13 for all ages movie.
Now I'm upset because whenever Wolverine kills somebody, there's no blood. How come? What's the deal, man?
Well,
blood
no,
in this one,
no.
but
There's still no blood when Wolverine kills someone.
Yeah.
What?
There's like leftover blood.
Okay.
You
But
and I
in
must
other
have seen a. Okay, I don't know whether it's you and I must have seen a different movie, or Fox has been holding off from the critics again during these press screenings. But I don't think like it was well deserved. It was like the other X-Men movies where it's well deserving of its PG-13 rating.
The angel introduction scene. Or
Yeah.
not?
That wasn't that brutal. That was nothing
Okay.
about that scene that
I
could
don't know. Damn it!
jump
You guys
in
are getting
the
me
car.
excited now. Maybe I should go see this movie.
Okay, we can talk about it
Brutality and
later.
murder. I mean,
For me, there were parts that I was like, oh wow, that was pretty violent.
All right, well,
Um,
that's what you think, and that's fine. X-Men Apocalypse is not a movie I'm gonna like say you dummy over, because I'm in the camp where it's like I don't think it's as bad as people are
so
making
is
it out to
Dylan.
be.
Dylan
Like,
doesn't think it's great. He just thinks it's not as bad as
Yeah,
people.
I
Yeah.
thought it was really good.
You guys are very
The more I
similar.
think about it,
Which is
when I walked
interesting.
out, I was like, damn, that was a great movie. And now I thought about it a bit more the last few hours. And I'm like, I have about like 6 or 7 minor complaints that I feel that were easy story fixes, and those might annoy me more as time goes on. But when this movie is good, it's really damn good. There's a handful of standout sequences in this movie. There are the opening sequence is one. The Quicksilver scene is one. The scene with Magneto in the forest is one.
oh
Another forest.
yes,
fucking-
and
another forest. Fucking Magneto.
No, just watch it and it's good.
yeah,
But the dude is
the
controls
opening
metal.
with.
God damn it.
Well, no, it'll
It
make
makes sense?
sense. The
Okay.
opening
Yeah, it makes
sequence
sense.
with Magneto is excellent.
It's
Now, I gotta ask you, Dylan,
Yeah.
what did you think of the meta? I don't want to really spoil anything because Steven didn't see it, but what did you think of that meta joke? That because
Well,
that
I watched
ruined
your
it.
review and I think you mentioned it. So when it happened, I'm like, oh, because I think you mentioned it in your review, and I watched
Yeah.
the review, so I knew it was coming. I laughed. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool where they went and stuff. Looking back, I'm like, oh, that meta joke kind of came back to haunt them, because you can also say that about the current film. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny. It wasn't
All right.
interesting. I had more of an issue with the placement of the Stan Lee cameo. If you're gonna go for anything like that, I thought the Stan Lee cameo was kind of out of place.
What was the Stanley cameo?
I can't say because it's a huge spoiler, but
Okay, because I don't even remember. I know there was a Stanley cameo, but I don't even remember.
I
it.
noticed and I laughed, and it's a moment that you're not supposed to be laughing at.
So what I'm getting here is, it's the worst of the new trilogy. Great moments, bad moments, but for
Yeah,
you,
there are
but for
some
both
moments-
of you, the great moments outweigh the bad.
I will say they revisit a subplot from First Class, which I felt worked really well in First Class, which was the I forget her name, but the agent from
Oh,
First
Maury
Class.
McTaggart.
Yeah, Maury McTaggart shows up in this movie again, and they revisit the subplot of her and Professor X in a few moments, and that I didn't like how they handled it.
Can I ask how the new people do their job, like how they do?
Okay. I personally loved everyone that was new. I thought Ty Sheridan as Cyclops was great, and I'm not an X-Men comics fan. I've only seen the movies, but I love Ty Sheridan
Was
as
he douchey?
Cyclops. No, I don't think so.
Fail.
I really liked him. Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. I thought she was great.
Is her accent?
I
there?
like the new Nightcrawler.
Does she have an accent?
I didn't notice one, but to be honest, I'm terrible at noticing people's accents.
Okay.
So I just could have just not picked up on it.
Does Jubilee come out to play a lot?
No, she's wasted. She looks cool, but she doesn't do anything. She's
What?
just a cameo.
There was like those whole mall scenes and
Yeah.
all that other cool.
You didn't?
They cut.
Did
the
you
mall
not watch
scene.
my review?
I did. I just wanted you guys to say it so I could be upset again.
Okay.
I just.
But
Yeah, that is his worst.
no, Evan Peters is in the movie against Quicksilver. He's great.
And he has more
there's
to.
one-
He's more than just a plot device. Huh?
Yeah, he actually does stuff, and it's important
Okay.
to the plot this time.
So
um,
I mean, maybe. I mean,
Yeah, I had a really good time. I enjoyed the post-credit scene. There's one. It's cool.
Yeah. They.
Hey.
Yeah. You got to see it because Fox decided not to show press the post-credit scene.
It's nothing too amazing. Like you can legit just look up what it is on the internet in text
Yeah.
form, and it's exactly how you would picture it.
Well, even I heard clever movies talk about it.
Okay, then
And,
you don't have to watch it. It's
What
just-
they described made me go, okay, I guess I didn't really miss anything.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it was kind of underwhelming because I'm a huge comic books fan. So when the reveal happened of who this person is. I was like,
The,
oh,
the review needs to be Gambit shows up and he's like, "Hey guys, sorry it took me so long to be in one of your movies, but here I am, and here's my 52 card deck. Did you guys hear I'm going to be in a $160 movie or $1 million movie?"
although I will say, if people had problems with the destruction and like Man of Steel,
oh yeah,
oh my
that
God,
was part of the
they-
marketing problem in this one.
they are going to hate
Oh,
the destruction.
one last
in this
thing I wanted
movie.
to ask was Oscar Isaac. How is he as Apocalypse?
You
go first.
Rank him against
he doesn't-
against your MCU villains. That's how we'll determine how good he is. Is he a Ronin?
You're asking the wrong
That's
person.
the wrong person because I think Ronin's a really
shit.
good
Damn.
villain.
Okay, wait. Okay.
But
no, I'll ask the same question.
he's
For you,
basically
is he a Ronin? And for you, is he a Ronin? Because
he's basically just, I don't know, same tier. I guess Oscar Isaac does a good job in the role, but his character is underwritten, and honestly, I read on Reddit, and I don't know the user's name, but a guy on Reddit said that this could have been just Brandon Fraser in makeup, and it's the exact same performance, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of right, like. Like Oscar Isaac adds nothing to the performance.
So
It's a really easy performance to do. It's just look serious at all times. Get the one good take if it was a bad actor. But Oscar Isaac, I was like, oh cool, it's Oscar Isaac because I knew he was there. But
so like every
he
typical
wasn't-
MCU villain.
Yeah, he was a
great
typical
actor
MCU villain.
doesn't live up to potential.
Plus his power set is not defined very well because you're like, oh shit, he's really powerful.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't
I
really do much. There's only one scene in which he does anything, and that scene I think there's one scene where he impacts the world, and I was like, that's really fucking cool. But the rest of it, everything after that was like, oh, that's okay. I mean, he's cool, I guess, but
Yeah, I personally thought Oscar Isaac was very underwhelming. And I mentioned this in my review. One of the problems was because he seemed to be weighed down by the makeup. Like he didn't seem to really emote that much, and the makeup. It just seemed like he couldn't act through it. And I actually got a comment on one of my review when I described Apocalypse and how he wasn't that interesting, and I don't know how he is in the comics. And he just basically says that's exactly how Apocalypse is in the comics. The most interesting stories about him are usually about his legacy, not the character himself.
Agree.
I can see
Apocalypse
that.
is never fun. Like in the comics, he's never really fun. And I'm being honest. I feel that Apocalypse is going to be as good as probably Thanos. I don't think Thanos is going to live up to the hype. I honestly don't believe it from the MCU. I think when he shows up, it's going to be like.
I've seen the movie. I think Thanos will be better.
You think
Just
so?
because Thanos will have at least 2 movies of him.
Yeah, because
going toe to toe with the Avengers. They could have easily had this
Hey,
Apocalypse. movie
they're
with 2
switching the
movies.
names. Maybe the first one doesn't even have Thanos on it.
Yeah,
Well-
but they're writing them right now.
and
like-
the first one has Star-Lord, Thor, and Rocket Raccoon confirmed. So you
Oh, really?
can't really
Oh, I
have
didn't know that.
Thanos.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I was hoping for my Secret Avengers shit. Damn it. All right. All right. So we're going from one that you guys were both. Oh wait, what?
Can I just rank where I
Against
think
all 6?
Apocalypse is?
All 6?
Yeah, against all of them.
Okay.
Well, I haven't seen X3, so I guess only 5. I think that it's about.
You're not missing much.
I think it's about on par for me as X2 or a bit below X2, and it's
X2 's
better
fucking
than the
amazing.
first X-Men.
X2's
Well,
amazing.
I saw X2 and I was impressed by it, but I saw X2 after I saw Days of Future Past and First Class, so I didn't see it
But
with
you
the
like
2004
X2
mindset.
less than X1?
No. For me, it goes First Class, Days of Future Past, X2, Apocalypse, X-Men. Or
Oh wow.
I haven't seen X2.
So for you, this one's better than X1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't count Deadpool in that list, huh?
No, I don't.
Well,
I wouldn't count that because then you have to.
If I was
then
counting
you have to include
Deadpool, I
origins.
like this. If
that's true.
someone were to ask me would I rather watch Apocalypse or Deadpool again, I would say Apocalypse. That's just because I like movies with darker tones more than comedic tones.
Yeah, I'd rather pick Deadpool.
I would.
Because
Yeah.
Deadpool had more
Deadpool did what it wanted to
rewatchability.
accomplish better. I just
And,
didn't enjoy it as much as other people did.
Apocalypse, there were points where I found it very boring, but I mean,
Okay.
I've already said my piece about
That's fair.
X-Men Apocalypse.
All right. Well,
weeks
There's a lot
ago.
of issues. There's one line of dialogue from Storm near the end of the movie that makes absolutely no sense.
well,
I'll just say that, and I was like,
we'll,
God damn it.
we'll go.
I must have forgotten about that.
We'll go from one movie that you guys seem
Couldn't-
to be very more positive on to one that I think there's going to be a bit of a divide here. Just going to say it here.
Uh-oh.
I'm not gonna argue it very much though.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
No,
I
so
don't like where this is going.
I didn't see Alice Through the Looking Glass, but Alexander did. And if I know Alexander well, he hated it because I don't. It looks bad. And then then Dylan was talking to me before this, and he was like, "You know what? It's not as bad as it looks like. It's not as bad as the critics are making it out to be." You said it was fine, I guess.
I said I enjoy when I walked out. I was like, I was entertained. I liked the CGI. I liked the main actress. The plot was as if they just like made it up as they went along, and that was
Oh boy,
whatever.
good lord, is it ever?
They like made attempts at like thematic elements, and I appreciated that. They weren't well realized, but they attempted, and it was kind of like cute in the way that people are like, oh, look at Pitbull trying to be like a real pop star or someone like that. But then you think about it, and it's really sad and kind of like demoralized. Now you're thinking that towards like a $200 million movie. And then you're like, well, shit, I should have much higher expectations. But my expectations were like as low as they were for Allegiant, and I walked out like, I didn't hate myself when I watched it.
So you went in going expecting dog shit, and you didn't get dog shit. You got more like dog food.
Yeah,
You're like,
I was
all
like,
right, positive.
Yeah.
All right. Before the
That weird
podcast, I think you
music
said
video?
that. I mean, was there anything? I think that's pretty much everything that you liked about it. You're like, CGI is pretty, the main girl's pretty, and she's pretty good in the role.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it, right?
I didn't hate Johnny Depp in this movie because he's hardly in it. He's in the movie.
I did hear.
But even then, the whole focus is around.
It is
him and
around his family, but I was like, I feel that they could have. It could have been a lot worse. Is I guess my whole point. When I walked out, I was like, yeah, it wasn't terrible. It's nowhere near. It's by far the worst of the live action fairy tale movies that I've seen. Of them, besides the first Alice in Wonderland.
Wait,
but I was like,
oh yeah, you said you liked this one more than the first one. I forgot you just said that.
Yeah, but I was like, it's whatever.
Right.
There's no break dancing.
But I heard there's a
Positive.
fucking pink music video song
There
at the
is.
end, or whatever the fuck.
No, it's not the end. It's the beginning. It's before the Disney logo.
But I heard there's something at the end where like a musical number. At
Wait.
the end, again.
I must have missed that.
Is there no musical number at the end of this thing?
No, there's not.
What's
Apparently
Do you have
somebody
a press
said.
screening?
No, I don't have press
Oh,
screenings
okay.
from Disney, but because I had to pay to see this shit. Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yay.
But I left before I've heard from a few people that there is a dance number, but I got up and left before as soon as the credits started
yeah, I heard
rolling.
there's like an after credit scene dance number or
okay.
something like that.
Oh, okay.
Did you
Yeah.
not wait for that?
I didn't fucking stay. I left. I had to pee about halfway through this movie, but I cared enough. But before the movie, I drank a ton of water, and I was like, well, I don't care if I'm gonna have to leave during this piece of shit. But I found myself, I cared enough that I was like, I'll hold it for the last half hour when I had to piss. But as soon as those credits rolled, I was like, I'm out. I don't care if there's a post-credit dance piece of shit. I'm done.
But so you're saying it's worth a watch on TV, but there's no way in hell you recommend people pay for this, right?
Yeah.
On mute.
Okay, I'm mute.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so Alexander, your review is up. I haven't gotten a chance to see your review for this. So you can give us a small snippet of your thoughts on it. I mean, did you hate how badly did you hate it? I mean, you hated the first one pretty. After a while, I think you were like me, where you kind of liked it the first time, and then.
Yeah, it took me about half a year to realize the first one was actually dog shit.
Oh yeah, the first one's pretty bad.
And
it's really bad, the first one.
These Alice in Wonderland movies are okay. They're the equivalent to Roland Emmerich's Godzilla, where they're only those things by name, and they have nothing to do with the source material. Like they just make
means
this
that she
shit
wasn't
up
a
as they
pirate?
go.
But I don't get it though
Source
because
material?
I don't get it though because you would think that Marvel would handle their live action stuff the same way that they would handle their Marvel stuff. None of the Marvel.
You mean Disney?
I mean Disney. Yeah, sorry. Marvel doesn't. Disney doesn't handle like the Marvel movies. None of them are awful. But then,
No.
But then you have like the Disney live action movies where you have great ones like Jungle Book and Cinderella, and then you have ones that like fall. Like Maleficent is really down, and the first Alice in Wonderland is really down. Like it's
And Oz the Great and Powerful.
and also yeah, it's really down. So it's like, and then according
I
to
like
you guys,
Maleficent, though.
and then but you know what I'm saying? Like the gap between Maleficent and Jungle
there's
Book is
definitely a quality
insane.
gap.
So I'm just confused as to
Yeah.
they have two really great ones for me, and according to you, Maleficent, I guess Maleficent is okay. So it's maybe the middle, but then after that, the other three are awful. I mean, I haven't seen this one, but I'm assuming it's awful.
So
too.
I haven't
weird.
seen Oz, but how I would answer that is I think it's that this was their first attempt, and they just let Tim Burton do whatever he wanted, and he made a pretty bad movie, but it made a ton of money, and they didn't want to like stray away from what the public liked the first time, so they made this, and it wasn't that good.
What has this made overseas? Because people are saying that overseas it
movie's
might make its money. Because right now, this thing
I'll look it up.
is gonna bomb.
It made 65 million foreignly,
Okay.
so it's at 93 million. It cost 170.
It'll make its
it
money
might
back.
break even.
But like what I'm saying is like, is it gonna make 500 million?
No.
So
This thing's a flop.
This thing's a flop.
oh my god! Like,
But Jungle
are we
Book,
talking John
Zootopia,
Carter
Civil War
flop?
made so much. No,
Maybe
because
less
John
than that
Carter
because
had cost more, and John Carter cost more in marketing. I think.
Okay.
yeah, because this movie only cost $170 million.
All right.
Yeah. Which means I mean it made like 400, 350.
All right,
even.
Alexander.
Yeah,
do
and-
you wanna say
do
a
that.
few things about this movie before we move on? Or-
Yeah, like they, I don't know what I could say that won't make me come off as rambling, but
I mean,
it's
you
just
do
like-
have your coherent review up. I haven't seen it yet.
yeah,
but I
so
look
you could
forward
definitely
to-
check that out on The Real Mr. Robinson on YouTube. But
Yep.
what I'll basically say is one of the beauties about the original books, Alice's Adventures Through Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass, because I've actually read the books.
I found out that this one was
Oh.
based on a book because Dylan told me before the podcast. I didn't know that the second one was a book. Straight up, I was like, "This is a book
Yeah.
too." Shit. But then he said
Yeah,
the thing
Lewis
is nothing
Carroll-
like the book. So
Yeah, Lewis Carroll wrote a second book. For anyone out there in the audience who didn't know, he wrote a second book to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland called Alice Through the Looking Glass. And what the beauty of those two books are, and the original animated Disney movie, is that they made sense in the sense that they don't make a whole lot of sense. They're just a bunch of incoherent events where this little girl just goes into hallucinates, and Wonderland is just a place inside her head. The problem here with both these movies is that they like Wonderland, or Underland as they call it. God damn it! It is a real place. They basically turn it into Oz, and
it would have been cool.
they
if
try to
did
give
something
coherent
with this
stories and give backgrounds to these characters, which don't work. Like the background to why the Red Queen has a large head and why she hates her sister is
I
awful.
mean, Dylan is dying over here, so I'm guessing it's funny as fuck.
It's so bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's so bad.
Okay.
it is awful, and I think like Mia Wasikowska looks good as Alice, but she is just boring. All the other characters, and it's not really her fault. Like the characters range from boring to dull,
To annoying.
or no, because that's the same thing. Boring to useless to downright irritating. And
Example: Anne Hathaway is irritating as fuck in the first one. Is she still irritating here?
Oh,
No,
that's
I-
who that was.
You didn't know that was Anne
I always
Hathaway?
found
the
Anne
whole
Hathaway-
movie being like, who is she?
Okay.
I always
Sorry.
found Anne Hathaway as the White Queen to be boring.
Oh, she's her
Like
and her
Helena
little
Bonham Carter
her little hand
was
thing is-
annoying.
"Ooh," I'm like, "Is she high? What the fuck's she doing in the first one? She's just grabbing."
No,
the
it's
air.
like Helena Bonham Carter and the Mad Hatter were annoying to me.
Oh no, that's Johnny Depp's Mad Hatter was another level. I don't know what you called him in the first one. He was,
He was playing Willy Wonka again.
yeah, be even worse, I think. Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah, but
you
but
you put it
before we move
nicely.
on, because I have actually, you can check out my review, guys, again. But I wanted to say something about Avatar 2 in relation
Oh yeah,
to
you did.
Alice Through the Looking Glass flopping. So, we know that Avatar, as the years have gone by, has not really gotten the best reception. Like, people have kind of looked back on that movie and say, this thing's kind of garbage. Even though I think none of us here can say it's garbage.
No, I just think it took a
no.
basic story. I mean, it's just, I
really like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it's beautiful to look at. It created a cool world.
I do too.
I just think that the story is just kind of straightforward, and we expect something not so
Right.
straightforward from Cameron, and that's why maybe like the fans have turned on it. And I think it's more like the movie snobby
Well,
buff kind of. The people that
Cameron
love
always
movies.
has Cameron always has straightforward stories to his movies.
That's true because Terminator is pretty straightforward.
He's not his stories are not that complicated. But anyway, as I was saying, um, it's taken a long time for Avatar 2 to get off the ground. Like, it's probably going to be a full decade before we get Avatar 2. And by that time, I don't think anybody will care. And I mean, maybe if that movie wins over the people that didn't like the first Avatar, then maybe it'll do well. But I have a feeling Avatar 2 is going to flop. And similar to with what happened here, when Alice in Wonderland first came out, people really liked it, and then people turned on it. And then they waited 6 years to make a sequel, and it bombed. And both first movies were mega hits.
I was telling. Oh, you can go, Dylan.
I can definitely see where you're coming from, and I actually hadn't made that connection before. What I think the difference is, and I know that I'm not representative of the general public at all, but for me, Avatar 2 is in like my top 5 most anticipated movies that are like being made right now.
Okay.
Like it's like that episode 8 and a handful like Justice League, Avengers, like maybe something else. I'll just off the top of my
Right.
head because I love James Cameron. I love seeing what he's gonna do. The man is a cinematic genius. He's revolutionized filmmaking with Titanic. He revolutionized the blockbuster. He revolutionized the action movie with T2, in my opinion.
3D.
And
Yeah.
then
And
and then he revolutionized 3D and CGI with Avatar. And he spent the last what's going to be a decade of his life developing these movies. And I feel like they'll be able to push that narrative. And if the marketing comes out and looks good, and people will remember what they felt while they watched the first Avatar, because people have turned on it, but it's taken years for people to turn on it. And the thing is, Alice, people turned on that like a few months after.
Exactly.
Avatar, it took a solid like 2 or 3 years, and people were like, "Oh, that movie was pretty bad."
And in all honesty, if the sequel would have come out in that third year, people wouldn't have turned on it the way that they did. You know,
I don't think they would have.
I think it would have because they would have kept being in that world still. You know what I mean? Like the way, because it's not a bad movie. It's just that 9 years later, you're like, oh, the story doesn't hold up as well as it could have, or
Yeah.
it's now that 3D is a legit gimmick. It wasn't a gimmick for him. It was like a legit thing for Cameron, and he created cameras for this whole thing. So now that 3D is gimmick and CGI is a gimmick, people are like looking back at it and like, oh, well, this is a gimmick movie. And during the time, it wasn't a gimmick movie. He legit invested a lot of effort into that movie, and that's why it made so much money.
I mean, I hope that's not the case, and I hope that with James Cameron making sequels that are better than the original, that Avatar 2 won't flop. But I'm just seeing what I'm looking.
If critically, the second one is amazing. Maybe not money wise, but the odds of making
Although
that
I
money is
doubt.
insane.
Although I mean, even if it doesn't flop, I doubt it's going to make anywhere close to the amount of money the first one did.
No,
I don't think it'll have to.
There's no way in hell.
I think as long as it crosses the $1 billion club, maybe goes to like 1.3, 1.4, which if it releases
being honest,
in that
though.
December release date without much competition, I can see it repeating that as long as it's good, because James Cameron has with his last two movies, he's shown he was able to master getting people back into that theater during that same run.
If I'm
like
Cameron,
Titanic,
True.
like Titanic's highest grossing weekend, if I remember correctly, was Valentine's Day weekend.
and it was like 40
Two and a
million.
half months after the movie came out.
But if we're like, for me though, if I'm, who's making, is this Warner? Who's making Avatar?
This is Fox.
So,
Yeah.
So Fox, if I'm Fox, my expectations for Avatar 2 are like $900 million max. I'm not looking at this thing hitting $1 billion because we have
They're not
we have
investing that much
blockbusters now. Like we have superhero movies. We have so many movies that come out. Like look at X-Men. X-Men made 65 million. The last one made 80. There's so
Yeah,
much
but I
stuff.
think,
like, it's just not. I don't know. I just don't think.
Yeah, but we also live in a world where Deadpool just made 130, and Civil War just made 180, and Force Awakens just made 200.
That is true.
It works
38.
both ways. What? Oh yeah,
238.
238. My bad.
That is true.
Yeah,
But I
200.
think, I
Jurassic
mean,
World made 200.
they're not. Yeah, but I think with Avatar 2, they're not going to release it in the summer.
No,
Oh, yeah,
the
no.
first one's spring, and then after that it's December. I think
The first Avatar came out in December.
No, I'm saying the part 2 is spring, and then after that all the other ones are going to be Christmas time.
Okay.
Part of me wants him to slate it in the summer and then have it get delayed till December, just like Titanic and Avatar.
They're staying away from Star Wars
yeah.
for this one. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
yeah,
makes
makes sense.
Because
fine.
you could be James. You could be James Cameron all you want, but you aren't beating Star Wars.
Yeah, like you can literally say Spielberg and James Cameron and
Ready
Martin
Player
Scorsese are making a movie together, and you're saying it
You're
on
not
Star
beating
Wars.
Star Wars.
All right, so
The Avengers Infinity War could be combined into one movie and released on the same day as Star Wars. It ain't beating Star Wars.
Well, yeah, I would rather go see Star Wars.
yeah, so I think everybody would. All right, so shall we move on to what's coming out this week? I mean, I don't think anybody. Do any of us want to talk about Angry Birds or Civil War again?
No.
Okay.
Sorry for the late
Neighbors
response.
2 was
I was
good.
drinking.
Oh yeah, so Neighbors 2 was good. I mean,
liked
Dylan
it.
didn't like it more than the first. I think that it's not as good as the first. Still a top 3 best comedy sequel ever, to me. There's not many of them, so it's not that hard to be up there. And I guess we can give our quick thing. I like The Nice Guys. Didn't love it. What did you think?
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I really enjoyed watching it the entire time, and I walked out like, damn, that was a really solid movie. But I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I think it's a movie that if I rewatch it, I'll like it more and more, like I did Shane Black's previous film.
Agree. And Alexander, you have your review for it, but
Yeah, I think it's overhyped a little bit, but I think I'd probably like it the best out of the three of us here.
okay, cool. All right, coming out this week. I'm assuming the top 2 will stay the same for the most part. Because
I don't.
oh no, never mind.
No.
There's one
No.
thing coming out. I forgot about this. So
Yeah.
we have 3 movies coming out going wide that matter. One is Me Before You, which is the Emilia Clarke dude from the Hunger Games movie. What's that guy's name?
Yep.
Sam.
Why does Sam? I don't know.
Sam.
The
Something.
guy with the trident.
That guy.
I don't know his name.
So that it's like a love movie. There hasn't actually been like
Sam Claflin.
that guy. There hasn't actually been a romantic movie in the theaters for a good while. I think a couple months, maybe 1 or 2 months. So maybe this will make 15 million. Okay, I'm being a serious romantic comedy, a romantic movie. So maybe this will make about 15. Pop star, never stop. Wait, never stop. Never stopping.
Never stop, never stopping.
So this is the
Can't
Lonely
wait.
Island guys. I love these guys. I'm excited as hell for this movie. This movie will probably suck, but I can give 2 shits because I love the music. I love the 3 dudes, and I love how stupid they are. So I'm gonna see this. I'm gonna see.
Have you seen the trailer?
Oh my god, yes. Like I listen to the music. Like their Obama song or the Bin Laden song is amazing,
Oh, it's so
and
good.
like the fucking Mona Lisa song is amazing.
Oh, I haven't listened to that one yet. I've been
oh,
listening to the what's it called?
I'm-
Fuck, what's it called?
well,
I'm so humble.
Oh, that song's amazing too. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get the line,
it's really
the starting line. One of the starting lines from the Mona Lisa song is "Mona Lisa, the original basic bitch." So that's
Can't wait.
that
Damn.
movie.
I'm so excited for this movie.
That's
yeah.
cold.
It's just funny. And then the one that I forgot was coming out this weekend that is gonna make a lot of money is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows, which is a horrible name because this is already a fucking video game. But whatever. Why wouldn't you make any other name? This thing's already a video game. Yeah. So, I mean, I hated the first one, but I'm hearing that this one is actually trying. So maybe I'll like it. Maybe I don't know. I'm hearing decent things about it from people that have seen.
Well, it
screenings
doesn't
of
have
it.
to be. It doesn't have to be that much better than the last
For
one.
me though, like I hated the fucking first one, dude. I fucking hated it, dude. Like, it was my worst
Yeah, I
movie
mean,
of the year.
even if the second movie, even if this one comes out and it's like, it's just simply bad, that's still probably better than the first one.
That's true.
Disagree.
All I ask is less humans, more turtles.
Yes.
Should that be?
Even if the
Should that be?
even if the designs are still
Yeah,
horrifying.
should that be too much to ask from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? I mean, should that be? Because I mean, then again, the Transformers movie do have a lot of.
And I like the first two, and I don't like the third one. I like
This one
Michael
does
Bay
look.
one.
This one
I-
does
this
look
one-
like the cartoon though, so I mean that's a good thing. That's stupid.
I
as
was
hell.
Right.
when I saw the trailer and they started. What was the band that they were playing?
Oh,
I don't
Run
know.
DMC?
Yeah, Run DMC. I was already in. I was like, okay, cool. And I thought maybe part of it was like I like the trailer just because really like that song and like it's impossible not to have fun while you're listening to that song. But then at the end of that first trailer, there's a tank on a river with either Bebop or Rocksteady.
That's
I don't know which
something-
one.
that's something straight out of
Driving the
cartoon.
tank, and then the turtles are like on like cars on top of the water going away from the tank. I was like, this looks
I mean,
dumb as hell, and I
embra-
can't wait.
Embrace the stupid. Embrace like the shenanigans. Like, and it feels like one of the trailers was WWVDD. What would Vin Diesel do? Come on, like okay, that like
Yeah.
that's a funny.
Like that definitely.
I don't know. It looks
If the
funny.
well, I mean that phrase. If the turtles like that's something that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today would say.
Yes, it makes sense. So I hope that you guys are right and they are embracing, like, are taking from the criticism and making it better. So Alexander, from all of these, which ones are you excited about? Any of three of them at all?
Not really excited about any of them, but I guess if I had to see one, it would probably be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I mean doesn't look as serious as the last one did, but
They are
I
throwing a lot
imagine
of-
it's not. I imagine it's still not going to be very good because, in my opinion, on the first Turtles movie, that the last one that came out 2 years ago, was well, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but still not great. I mean, here's the thing, and this is actually a testament to how good of a year 2014 was for movies for me. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles made number 3 on my worst of, but that's because I didn't see many movies that really pissed me off. I only saw 2, and Ninja Turtles was not one of those movies.
It was for me. But
Yeah.
They are doing that formula about 3 villains though. They are introducing 3 straight up villains in this movie. I mean
4.
Oh, I can't be about Rocksteady as 1, but yeah, 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because them 2, Shredder and Krang. So
Shredder and Krang.
yeah, it's a lot of villains for one movie, and from the look of it, they fight all of them. So we'll see. All right, so that's what's coming to theaters this week. Let's head over to the news. There wasn't too much news this week, so let's see what we got here. Captain America: Civil War passes Deadpool to become the highest-grossing movie of 2013. It's earned $372 million domestic. So it surpassed it. Captain America is going to make over 400 million, maybe get around the 440, 430 mark by the time it's said and done. Because they made about 15 this weekend again, I believe, something like that, right? And that was just domestically. So it's cool. I mean, both of them were great movies. I'm not mad at one passing the other. I'm cool with it either way. Just points out. I mean, never mind. I'm not even gonna mention the movie that I was gonna say.
We don't need to mention it.
I mean, that was
I
a
have a
story that I
question.
had, but I'm not gonna use that. I'm not gonna talk about that story.
Have you guys seen Captain America: Civil War again?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times.
Okay, you saw it 3 times because I saw it a second time just last week, and even though I love it better, like it's my favorite MCU movie. After seeing it a second time, I really didn't have a desire to go see it in the theater again. I was like, well, twice is enough for me.
that is how I felt. But if I had a friend that wanted to see it, I would go. I would go, no matter. I would have gone back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it. I saw it twice opening weekend, just because I paid for it the first time and then I had Movie Pass, so I saw it again. And then the third time, one of my friends wanted to see it last weekend, and I was like, okay, sure. So I went, and I kind of wanted to watch again just because there's a few scenes that I just like really love, and I want to see those scenes again.
Yeah.
And it's actually gotten better for me every time I've seen it. Like I've liked it more and more.
For me, the second
It
time
does,
stood the
much
same. Like it was equally the same. I caught some things more, but the things that bothered me the first time I saw it still bothered me the second. I think
Yeah.
I mentioned.
I was
that.
able to follow the shaky cam action better the second and third time.
One thing
so
I did
enjoyed
notice-
those scenes more 'cause I enjoyed the planning in terms of it.
Cool.
Yeah, one thing I did notice when I saw it the second time was it feels long, but it's not like when I say
What?
that, it's not like with Transformers where it's like, oh God, when is this going to be over? It's more like when I say The Dark Knight's long, where you're not bored or checking your watch. You're just like, what else are they going to do? Huh?
Yeah, there is a lot. Yeah, I mean, it is around like 2:35, right? Is that how many?
It's
is-
two. It's
hours
2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's
Two and
pretty
a half
long.
hour.
I mean,
And it doesn't it is very it does feel slow at points. It doesn't like move really fast like Avengers or Star Wars does.
okay,
I thought it
alright.
moved pretty fast.
I mean, there are
personally.
moments.
Well,
that
because
it was
there
over,
are
I was like,
moments- there are
"It's over
moments that
already?"
slow down.
Wow.
Yeah.
To me, some of the moments that slow down are more the setup moments. So everything with Vision was the setup moment for the most part. Vision and Scarlet. Several setup
Okay.
moments that could have been cut out would have saved it about 10, 15 minutes, I think. But I like those moments.
Right.
I just, when you watch it more times, I could
Yeah.
see how those moments would be.
I mean, again, me saying long, it's long is not really a negative. I mean, okay, it is a negative, but it's not like I just said.
it's
Like
a nitpick.
it's not like
it's like
where
a
I'm
small,
bored.
very small nitpick. Like it is.
Yeah.
It's long. It's the way that I think that the Dark Knight is the perfect thing because the Dark Knight. I love that movie, but it is 3.5. Like it's pretty long. It's almost it's
2 hours,
almost
2.5
2 hours
hours.
and 40 minutes almost. All right. So let's move on here. So you guys remember that Spider-Man movie that was that Sony is still making?
Oh, the animated one?
Yeah, the animated movie that they're still
Yeah.
doing. They're working on. So
I actually forgot about it.
well, the rumors have come out, and these might be true, which would make sense because I feel like this might be the only option that they would have if Marvel has the original Spider-Man. Why would they allow their Peter Parker to be in another animated movie? The rumors suggesting that the animated Spider-Man movie that's coming out in 2018 is going to feature Miles Morales as Spider-Man, so not Peter Parker. It is going to focus on his story. So when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But then I was like, wait, is this like saying like Marvel is not in any sense of the word gonna be doing him anytime soon, so they don't care if Sony fucks him up here? I don't
What
know.
I took it as is that it's them familiarizing a mass audience with the character of Miles Morales. So in like 15 years, when Tom Holland's done playing
Dear
the
God,
character,
15 years, dude.
then-
Don't hurt my
Well,
feelings. There.
he's just like he's like what 18?
Don't hurt my feelings.
He's 20
don't-
years old.
Don't,
She's 20 years
don't
old. now.
hurt me though.
Well,
I'm not waiting 15 years to see Miles Morales, dude. That is heartbreaking.
Wolverine's been played by Hugh Jackman for 16 years.
There isn't another fucking Wolverine
go on
though.
17.
Yeah, he has.
There isn't, like, a new Wolverine just happened right now, like in the comics.
It's filming
And it's a
right
girl. No, I'm talking about like in the comics, like
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Spider, like this, like, and it's not. I don't know. Like I don't, dude. No. 15, like 15.
It was just the
years.
number. It could be closer to 10. I don't know.
It better
but
be
I-
closer to 5.
I think he's gonna. No, he'll definitely do it longer than 5
no,
years.
No, I'm talking
Tobey
about.
Maguire did it.
Okay,
did it
first
5
off,
years and had 3
spoilers
films.
alert! Spoiler alert! You don't have to kill Peter Parker to introduce to introduce Miles Morales. That's how the comic book does it.
No,
you don't
no,
have
but
to.
they're
You don't have to.
but wouldn't they have him replace him? They could have Peter retire and then they
Hey,
could
man.
eventually do the one more day story arc and piss
God.
off all,
No,
all the comic
no,
fans.
no. Marvel's already done enough damage in their comics. They don't need to.
Oh man, I mean, oh man, you're right. Damn it, this sucks. All right. What were you gonna say, Alexander? Shit.
Wait, was I supposed to say more?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know if you had anything to say.
Oh,
about
I
the
didn't
whole-
voice my opinion on this.
Yeah, about
Yeah, I mean, Dylan kind of has a good point on like it would be an opportunity to familiarize the general audience with Miles Morales.
But I just think it's going to be like, oh, well, see it. This didn't make that much money. People don't want them. That's not. No, it's because the honest truth is that nobody's going to go watch this movie. Really, it's an animated movie
That's actually.
I'm not.
That is
sure.
actually true because I actually forgot about that thing happening until this
First
week.
off,
Well, there hasn't been a trailer or anything.
like,
Or they
but,
haven't
like,
even announced.
Well,
Like,
it's not even in
Yeah,
production.
they don't have anything. But
who's,
like,
directing it.
really think about this though. What the audience that loves Miles Morales is the comic book audience that wants to see him in live action. Are they gonna want to go see a probably 2D cartoon about
It's not going to be 2D.
3D though? Seriously, like
Yeah,
3D,
it's gonna be
like
3D animation.
like what? Like Big Hero 6?
When was the last hand-drawn animation movie? It was the Disney one, Princess
you-
and the Frog.
so you're
Winnie the Pooh.
You're thinking
Right.
No,
more,
it's Winnie the Pooh.
I guess.
You're thinking more.
But and that one also.
You're thinking more Big Hero
Really
6
made
than
money.
anything else. Like,
Yeah, I was thinking like Big Hero 6, but with Spider-Man. And if they make it, I'll see it.
I don't.
Plus,
I
I
mean,
think
I'll
that it
see
could make a
because I
ton of
love
money
Miles,
because
but-
these animated movies have such long lifespans because they generally get released like once every like 2 or 3
but if
months.
I went out and asked 20 people, would they want to see an animated superhero movie? Most of them would say no.
They'd probably say no, but actually, there's also the Lego Batman movie, which people are excited about, and it could be the same thing,
But also,
but just not Lego.
then you're gonna have the ones like, why is he black? I don't. I mean, yeah, I get it.
You would have those conversations regardless.
And
Which
then
sucks.
I get it. I just.
And then years later, when Miles Morales becomes popular, you're gonna have kids going, "Why is Spider-Man white?" Huh?
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. He's already popular
Because-
he's a better character now than Peter Parker is.
Right.
Now, because I don't know. I'm just scared that if this flops, they're gonna like Disney's gonna be like, well, see, they don't want the black guy or the Hispanic guy or whatever race you want to make him.
No, that'll be Sony saying it. Huh?
Yeah, that is.
I think as long as Homecoming is good, then people will go see this just because they will like Spider-Man.
Maybe they'll make this like a team up, like Big Hero 6. That might be cool. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right, moving on
Like
here.
that.
All right, let's head over to the Power Rangers here, guys, because so we're all very excited to see this new Power Rangers movie. I mean, we're all like shaking in our boots. We're all like can't control ourselves, right? But what if I told you we're not getting one movie? We're not even getting 3 movies. We're getting fucking 7 movies. Because
You should have pulled a LeBron James.
no, I'm not gonna go through all those fucking numbers.
Not
Fuck
6,
that.
not 7.
According to Lionsgate CEO, we are really, really excited about the Power Rangers movie. We could see doing 5 or 6 or 7 of these. What the blue fucking hell? You don't even have
Okay.
one of these shits. And they're talking about making 5. Like, why not? Why would, come on, start low. Say 3. You want to make a franchise? Say 3. You mean to tell me they want to make 7? Like they're already thinking about 7 films, dude. Like I get it. Wish get hype up.
Take your time.
But,
Take
like-
your time.
They have
Pe-
to build out
people have
the
already
Power
been-
Rangers
people have already
cinematic
been-
universe. Take your time. Don't rush it.
I mean, people have already been making
Yeah.
kind of like comments
You still
about the
there, Steven?
uniforms and all that stuff.
I think. It's relevant, huh?
I think I lost
In
you
the
guys for a
maze.
second there. You guys are there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, hello.
Well, we're still here.
All right, sorry about that.
I was just asking, when was the last time Power Rangers was relevant? Like, when did people
Power Rangers
actually
is
care
still
about
Power
them?
Rangers is still really
The
big
first
though.
movie?
No, it's still really big right now though in the nerd community though. Like it's pretty. It's not crazy.
Like-
It's not like Marvel big or anything, but it still has
Like,
a really.
we
strong
know it
fan base.
exists.
No, but like the cart the
what are the numbers for the show? Or is it
They're still
probably the
pre-
same
they're
numbers
still-
that it was for the dinosaur one that I watched?
They're still pretty high though. In all honesty, I mean,
Is it?
high enough? They keep making them shits and people review them and there's reviews for it and everything. So I'm assuming it's high enough.
I don't know. As for these comments, I just took it as, I mean, the headline is makes you click that damn thing when
Yeah.
it's like they're thinking of making 7 movies. I'm like, what the fuck? And I click it. I read the comments. I'm like, oh, so he's just saying, oh, I can see us making a lot of these if this one does well, so you guys should go see it. I doubt that they're like
But then,
that,
okay, so then
they're like in the writers' room, just like Transformers was. And it's like, we gotta fill 7 Power Rangers slots, guys. How are we gonna do it? Are we gonna have the like Elizabeth Banks spinoff? You know what? If they go for 7 of them, I want to see my Power Rangers movie. I want to see them with the dinosaur theme.
But then in the same interview, he
That's what I
also
remember.
mentioned fucking the Divergent series. Like, you don't want to. You don't want to ever. Don't bring that up in here.
Oh
like,
wait,
don't-
what he did?
Yeah, don't bring that up in here. Like, no, we're not talking Power
What's,
Rangers.
oh,
No, that they felt like they were that they rushed them or whatever.
Oh,
they,
he said that one? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
he basically said that Allegiant was shit, and I was like,
Yeah, he was.
I could have told you that.
Why would you
I
bring
sat
that up
through
though
it.
during?
I
the
wanted
car?
to leave.
Why would you bring that up?
Fucking.
All right.
I'm not gonna go for my rant now. I will save that rant for
The
our
last review
2016 recap show.
of that. Well, you'll save it for when that you have to review the last one. All right, moving on here. So Disney is So we were talking about Alice in Wonderland earlier in the show, and we talked about how like that was a flop. And me and Dylan before the show, I was telling Dylan that I thought that Disney chose the wrong films for their live action movies, in all honesty, because they had money written all over certain properties, and it shows in the fact that the Beauty and the Beast teaser trailer broke records. And there are 4 movies that if Disney were to make live action versions of them, it would break the internet. One was Beauty and the Beast. The other is Aladdin. The other is The Lion King, which if they were to do like a Jungle Book style
Jungle
for that. And then the last one for me is The Little Mermaid. Those are the 4 that if you right now turn them into live action movies, the internet would break, because the internet generation knows those properties and loves those properties more than the Jungle Book, than those other ones. Don't get me wrong, the Jungle Book and Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland, the first one made tons of money, but I'm just saying that if you wanted to like make bank, you do the main 4. And it looks like Disney is throwing their hat into the game, because a live action Little Mermaid film is happening or is in early stages of development. So for you guys that don't know, we are already getting a Little Mermaid movie in next year, 2018. When was it? 2017.
I think it's 2018. I'll double check.
Okay, I mean, that was the
Explain
Sofia
story.
Coppola film with Chloe Grace Moretz, but Sofia Coppola, I think, is off the project now. So
Yes, she is off, and we have Rebecca Thomas.
there we go. Don't know who that is, but I'm sure she's somebody amazing. Who is that? Anything?
Don't. She also is going to direct Looking for Alaska for Paramount.
So
which
nothing
I'm
real,
kind of excited about.
nothing real. In the past, don't think she hasn't done anything yet big.
I was just looking at the Deadline article. I can Google her name right now and get back to you.
Well, nonetheless, I mean, Disney's getting in there, so we will assume that Disney will make the better one, because that's usually what happens with Disney. They make the better one of the live action movies. I guess I would say the interest level for a Disney one that is going to have the music, obviously, because the Jungle Book had one, and this one has way more and better music. So I'm assuming that Little Mermaid will have amazing ones. What do you guys think? First off, is Beauty and the Beast a musical? Is that a musical?
Yeah, it is.
The animated one, yeah, I definitely qualify
But
it as
is
one.
the one, and it's the one that's coming out, the live action.
The live action one will
also a
have
musical?
most of the original songs, if I remember correctly, and like 1 or 2 new ones, I think.
Interesting. So it's a pure musical.
Yeah, I
It's
think so.
pretty much play by play the cartoon.
As far as I know,
Okay.
it's not the same like screenplay. They changed.
Do you
stuff.
think that's
the
gonna-
writer who did that movie, Behind Over My Shoulder, Perks Being a Wallflower, wrote it.
Do you guys think that's gonna affect anything of the movie? Like, do musicals do well? Do musicals do well at the box office usually?
Recently musicals have done lukewarm. Like Into the Woods did okay, and Les Mis did okay, but
Annie tanked.
what?
Annie tanked.
Oh yeah,
that was horrible.
Annie. Annie looked
That
horrible.
tanked for different reasons.
But the
Bless you.
difference is, bless you.
Excuse me.
The difference here is that there is insane hype for Beauty and the Beast. Everyone loves that movie. It was the first anime movie to be
people love
nominated
Emma
for
Watson.
Best Picture.
Emma Watson.
Almost everyone I talk to like is at least a fan, if not a pretty large fan of
So-
the first Beauty and the Beast. I love that movie. Most people love the music. In that teaser trailer, I lost my shit watching the teaser trailer.
I
And
didn't. I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, it looks okay. I mean, we didn't get anything. I was not hyped. I did not get the hype behind that trailer.
oh, I watched it like 6 times in a row. I was like, oh
I
my
wish
God, I'm
would,
so
I
excited.
wish it would have
for
been a
this.
song during. I wish the trailer or teaser would have been a song.
Well, the movie's like
Oh.
a year away, 10 months away.
Yeah, the trailer was
Still
like
plenty of time.
it didn't really show anything that was worth getting excited
it
over.
showed Bella picking up a rose and people.
I just like the
Or Bella.
environments,
I said
just
Bella.
seeing
Wait.
it come to
I
life.
said
Wait,
Bella.
That's what got me excited.
Wait, Belle?
Yeah.
All I saw was Hermione.
No. Oh yeah, or whatever. Do you guys think the same?
I
hype...
saw her as Sam.
Oh,
I think that was her.
Perks. Do you guys think that the same hype will be around the Little Mermaid one movie? Because I think it will be. I think people are hyped as hell.
Maybe not as much.
Okay. I don't know. I don't love Beauty and the Beast. I like it a lot. I mean, compared to the other four I mentioned, Beauty and the Beast is the fourth one. I just love Aladdin. That's my favorite one. So.
Yeah, Aladdin's my favorite. Then Aladdin's my favorite, and Beauty and the Beast is my second favorite. If we're going by those four movies.
Yeah, for those four, mine
me,
would be Little Mermaid second.
I go Beauty and the Beast. Out of those four, I haven't seen Little Mermaid in a long time, so I'm gonna go Beauty and the Beast, Lion King. Although I think the narrative, I think it's very narratively flawed, but I love everything else about it, so I still have a really good time watching it. Aladdin, I think, is pretty solid, and then I haven't seen Little Mermaid in so long, so I can't really comment on it. But I'm really excited about. I've loved a lot of the recent Disney live action films, and I feel like they've been doing a lot of good service lately.
All right. Moving on here. I'm gonna leave this one story for the end. I have two small ones here. The next one is we are getting a Halloween reboot or whatever you want to call it.
You didn't name what it was. It's just a new movie.
But John Carpenter is coming on board with Blumhouse and Miramax. I don't know. He's coming on as executive producer. Is that what it was, or just producer? Executive
He's
producer.
going to produce it, and he's going to score the movie.
And he's also going to be a creative consultant on the film. So I'm in the minority because I actually liked the Rob Zombie take on Halloween, and I know a lot of people did not, but I enjoyed the Rob Zombie one, the first one, and I thought that was a good remake.
Not the second one.
No, I didn't like the second one. I thought the second one was garbage. So I get the reasoning that people did not like the first Rob Zombie one because it was like you're telling the origin story of Michael Myers, Mike Myers, like he from when he's a little kid
of a
and all
character that doesn't need one.
Yeah, exactly. I got that, but I still enjoyed the movie. According to this article, I believe it was saying that they were going to go back to the roots and go back to what it used to be, make it be scary. But this could all just be words that mean nothing because they said that when they were making the Freddy one, and the Freddy one wasn't good. They said that when they were making the Friday the 13th movie, the reboot a couple years ago, and that wasn't good. It's just wordplay.
Yeah.
They say it, but if it was Carpenter was directing, then I'd be hyped. But him being a producer, it's just like, okay, how much creative control are you going to have over this? Do you even care anymore? Is it just a paycheck? I don't know. I mean, the Scream, he created Scream, right? Carpenter, is that who's the Scream?
No, Wes Craven created Scream.
Yeah, that was Wes Craven.
John Carpenter did They Live and
the Thing.
the remake of The Thing.
Yeah, the Thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have to see that he's getting like some type of script writing credit on this, not like a character credit. You know what I mean? Like I need to see that because they have a director, right? Weren't they looking at somebody? I remember seeing they were looking at somebody.
I don't.
They have the guy who directed Oculus. If I remember
that guy.
correctly.
That's what they were looking at. The Oculus guy.
Which I haven't seen that.
And
but
I heard
good
Oculus
things.
is really good, like for a horror film. Haven't seen it. Didn't have much
What is?
interest. Oculus,
Oculus.
the horror film.
Oh, I didn't see it.
So I don't know. I mean, that's how I feel about this. How do you guys feel about this? I mean, excited? Do you guys care? Is it just? Do you guys don't? Do you guys not?
I haven't seen any of the Halloween films, but I've heard that the initial ones are all really good. I've heard the third one is decent, but it's really weird because it's not a Michael Myers film.
No, it's okay.
But just hearing that John Carpenter is going to be involved, and they got the guy from Oculus, and it seems like it's more of like a passion project for some people involved. They actually really care about the quality. They're not just trying to not just trying to revive the franchise for money. It seems like that's part of the reason, but it seems to me that they care more about making this good by bringing in this director and having him come back, and he's gonna score it himself. So even for that, I'm excited to just like
What's he
listen
gonna
to a new John
score? The
Carpenter
same
score.
beat he's always used? Like, whatever.
That's cool. Man.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, it's cool that he's
I mean,
on it. I
here-
just don't know. What do you think, Alexander?
Hey, here's my take on it. Most of the Halloween movies are pretty bad, actually.
There's 9 of them. 10.
There's
Yeah. There's 9 or 10.
6, 7, 8. There's 10.
I would say 5 are worth watching. Maybe 4
Yeah,
are watching.
The first one's obviously the best. 2 is the only sequel that felt like it had a purpose of being made, because it picks up literally right after the first one ends.
And 3 is good. It's just not a Michael Myers movie.
Yeah, 3 is actually good because it's different,
It's
and
completely different.
that was the last one John Carpenter worked on because it was originally the idea was he wanted it to be an anthology series, which if people were more responsive to that third movie, I think there could have been a lot of creative ideas, but
man,
they just went back to the Michael
I didn't know that.
Myers
That would have
thing.
been cool. I didn't know about that. That would have been actually pretty
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, one of the best moments of the Halloween movies is for me is the one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where he's like a hockey player and he like walks into the thing and he's like,
Oh, in
he walks into
H2O.
he walks into the house with his hockey stick and he knows somebody's in there and he's like, got suspended for getting a little too crazy with the stick this season. And I laugh every fucking time because I'm like, oh, Gordon, you're about to die. It's so amazing. I don't know. I don't know. This could be cool, but they keep like they're rebooting Friday the Friday the 13th one again, right? Aren't they rebooting? Wasn't that the whole we're gonna go found footage,
Yes.
then we're not gonna go found footage, then like it's like what?
Yeah.
They're not. The next Friday the 13th is like this November, which they're not gonna make. But there's one like October 2017, I think, that they might be able to make.
Since we're in horror, did you guys see the trailer for the guy that's directing the new Spider-Man movie? He has a horror
No.
film coming out called, I think.
John Watts is a horror film.
Huh?
John Watts has a horror film.
Is that the guy that's directing?
The new Spider-Man Homecoming?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's him. I saw a trailer for something
Yeah.
called Clown or some shit like that, and I was like, that movie looks freaky.
Yeah, Clown.
It looks freaky.
The movie came out in 2014.
Oh well, it must have been limited. I saw a trailer for that like last week, like, and it's like a brand new trailer. It's freaky as fuck. Like it looks creepy and scary and like
Yeah, this looks terrifying just from the poster.
yeah, it's freaky as fuck. And I'm just like, that's the guy making Spider-Man. Interesting. He did a hardcore drama rated R, and now he's doing a hardcore horror movie, and then he's hopping over to a kid-friendly Spider-Man. All right. All right. Next we have some James Bond news. So Daniel Craig turned down like $99 million to continue playing James Bond for 2 movies, which
Well, that's the rumor.
that's the rumor, which might be true, but
Yeah.
it's insane.
Which I think a more accurate depiction of that rumor it was Daniel Craig saying "Go fuck off."
He
Well,
seemed
that's what he did.
seemed bored in the last one, and whatever, he's done.
Yeah.
So we have the fact that he turned down that much money, but then we have the fact that now names are coming up. Now we had Tom Hiddleston name came up this week. We had Jamie Bell saying that he actually met with the people for James
You
Bond.
mean Jamie Foxx?
No,
No,
Bell.
Jamie
It
Bell.
was Jamie Bell. Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Bell?
I'd be mad as fuck if that was true. Jamie Foxx. What the fuck? Dear Jesus, dude. Oh my.
Okay, my bad.
That's the black guy you grab instead of Idris Elba. Oh my Jesus, I would fucking lose my shit. So yeah, so they're
Well, I mean, it is still Sony, so
yeah, dear God though, I get it. He did
That was in
he did
Fantastic
he
Four.
did
Trust him.
he was Electro for you or whatever, but still shit. So now they
He was also in Annie.
oh, fuck,
Team
dear
player.
God. Yeah, that's no team player my ass. So yeah, they're looking at Hiddleston. So Hiddleston said he met with people. Jamie Bell seems like he met with people. I want Idris Elba to be the guy because he looks like a badass, and we get him older. I just don't. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't want Hiddleston doesn't do James Bond for me. Neither does Jamie Bell.
Yeah.
Somebody agrees with me finally.
But so what do you guys think of first the fact that he turned down that much money? Just because, that's a lot.
I mean,
of
he's
money.
already set for life.
But
If
dude,
you, if,
$100 million.
oh yeah,
What?
oh yeah. I would definitely give up like 6 months of my life for $100 million.
Yeah, all of
Jeez.
us would.
Like,
But
he must be really bored with the franchise.
yeah, plus he probably got like back end on some of the on Skyfall and Spectre that killed at the box office. Plus, like Spectre still made a ton of money, but it didn't kill as much as Skyfall. But I don't know. But I mean that's cool for his artistic credibility. It's similar to like Michael Keaton.
Here it says that he's made 38 million euros for all 4 previous films. That this would have been he would have gotten 100. He would have gotten
Euros or pounds?
Or pounds, whatever. It's
that's the pounds is the UK.
yeah.
Currency.
So if 68 million pounds are 99 million, 38 is about 60 to 70 million. So he's made about 60 to 70 million in the first 4 films. So they were gonna pay him $100 million for the next 2. That's insane. But didn't he also say the whole slit your wrist thing, where he'd rather slit his wrist than do a Bond film? Like,
well, he was doing press for Spectre, not like after Spectre came out.
I get
During the press junket, he said he'd rather slit his wrist than they return.
Yeah, I get he was like probably done and all this other stuff, but what do you Alexander? What do you think about Hiddleston? Would you want to see Hiddleston as Bond or Jamie Bell or?
When I saw recent pictures of Jamie Bell, I was like, you know what? He could play James Bond, but he's not the guy. I would
He'd be very
pick.
young.
Nor would I
young James Bond.
Yeah, nor would I pick Tom Hiddleston.
So
I
Chris, I mean, who would you guys? I've heard Hardy's name come up. I've heard Fassbender's name come up. I've heard Idris Elba's name come up. What are you guys thinking?
My top 2 picks are Idris Elba and Michael Fassbender. Because I mean, Idris Elba, I think, like not just because people are throwing around his name left and right, but I think he's got the like cool charisma to play James Bond. And also, if you watch X-Men First Class, like all the scenes with Magneto hunting Nazis, that kind of plays out like a Bond movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Especially since it takes place in the 60s.
So some of the issues people have said with Elba is that he's already in his 40s. If he does 2 movies, he'll be almost in his 50s by the time it's done. I guess for some people that's too old. I don't know. I don't think so, but people think that's too.
Look at Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
he's still playing Iron.
And he's 50.
He's still playing Iron Man. He's like 51.
And I mean, Fassbender would be a cool choice. Is he English? Is he like from the UK? I don't know where Fassbender's from.
I think he was. I think he was born in Germany, but I think he has English. I think he's.
I mean, people got mad. People got mad when Craig, who is not from the UK, he's what the hell is Daniel Craig? He's Daniel Craig is something, and I remember when he got cast, people were upset because he wasn't a pure.
Okay.
Something.
Daniel Craig is from the UK.
Really? Because when he got cast, people got mad. I remember people got mad about him.
No,
people just got mad because it was him.
Because he was blonde.
Because he was blonde and blue-eyed.
Because he had blonde and blue eyes, and people were like, "That's not my James Bond." That's what it was. So when people get mad if you cast a German in fucking as Bond, I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing. Fassbender was born in Germany, but I think he was raised in the UK.
Do you think people get mad if he's black? If his like Bond is black?
Oh, for those people, I say fuck off. Huh?
Like if you just see Idris Elba talk, you're like, dude, you talk like a fucking smooth ass man. Like I would buy a drink for you, man.
Yeah, for Fassbender, it says at 19 he moved to London to like study at the Drama Center, London, and then he lives there now, I think.
All right. Well, I mean, Dylan, do you have 2 names besides
Yeah. Well, I have a few. I would have no issues with Idris Elba, but I have a few people that I would like more than him. I would not be a fan as of right now of Tom Hiddleston. If he gets the role, I might go watch that AMC show, the Night Manager, which apparently he's really good on.
That's really good.
I haven't watched it yet. so I can't comment on that. I've only seen him really in Crimson Peak and the Avenger and the MCU films, and he hasn't
He has a
screamed James
vampire
Bond
movie
either
that
of
I
those
heard is really
roles.
good. Like a vampire
What?
movie. He has a vampire movie with Tilda Swinton that I hear is really good.
Oh, okay. But I would be in favor of Dan Stevens, who from Downton Abbey and The Guest.
Haven't seen him.
Oh,
I haven't seen him enough to
I
really.
can't.
He's really young. He looks really young though. If it's the guy that I think it is.
He's
Yeah.
like 33, 34.
Oh, okay. Oh, not bad.
I have in the roles I've seen. There's nothing about him that screams James Bond
Is
to
it-
me.
is
I
he-
mean,
Have you seen
he's
The Guest?
good.
Is he in the coming? Is he the guy going to be in Beauty and the Beast? Am I wrong
Yeah.
with that? Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's gonna be the Beast.
Okay.
I'd also be in favor of Fassbender would be my first choice because I actually watched First Class 2 days ago, and during those scenes, I legitimately thought I was like, he would be the perfect James Bond. Oh my god! And then also, I just saw this right now, but if they were to announce Michael B. Jordan, I wouldn't.
He's not in.
I'd be
he-
in
he
favor of
real?
that.
I mean, I'd be down because I love that dude, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not in.
Not James Bond.
Dude, I'd be down with that
Well,
dude.
I've only seen the Craig James Bond, so that's my understanding of the character.
So whoa, wait a minute. You're just throwing Michael B. Jordan's name in at random just because you like the actor?
Partially.
I would too. I mean,
and I think he's charming.
I mean,
I think he
He
has
does
a lot of
not fit-
charisma, and he's
if we're
Yeah,
going,
but he's
He's
American.
that's the yeah, that's
He's
the main
American.
true.
And
That's
there's
the main problem.
nothing about him that qualifies for James Bond. Like for me, the standard of James Bond
I forgot they
is
had to be British.
yeah. Well, that and you got to be as good. Like the two iconic James Bond roles for me, more than Daniel Craig, are Sean Connery and Pierce Brosnan. Like if you can,
Whoa,
if
you
you've
think-
done
for you-
movies
for you,
that
Pierce
match,
Brosnan is iconic. Oh my god. I mean, he's GoldenEye. I guess that was a good movie.
yeah. Oh well, granted, he was only in one good Bond movie, but
Is Pierce? Is he American?
no.
Oh.
None of the James Bonds,
He didn't
none
have
of the
a- he
actors
didn't
who
have
played
an
James
accent.
Bond.
He had no accent in GoldenEye. Did he?
No, he did.
Oh my god, I don't remember. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Michael B. Jordan. I would want him to be anything, but yeah, I agree with Alexander. Though you do have the criteria, and although
I would
Michael B.
also
Jordan does
like,
have like the
Hardy.
swagger, he does have the swagger. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I
he
was
can't
thinking.
Really,
I forgot that he
Uh,
was
he
British.
can't. He can't.
He
really
doesn't
do it.
have the British swagger.
Yeah. Because the swagger that Bond needs is very high class, kind of like I don't know. It's Tom Hardy would be interesting as well because but he is. I don't know. Tom Hardy would be interesting though, but I haven't seen him play like high class yet, except in Inception, where he's like the T and
But even-
think a little bigger. And all
Even
that.
then, he's not that high class.
I think that I think the two that they should look at honestly before Tiddleson or even Bell is Idris Elba or Fassbender. I think Fassbender would be like
Yeah.
the top choice. I mean, I want Idris Elba because I just think it'd be awesome because he's black, and I'd be like, a black Bond, that'd be pretty out there. He's got the swagger, he's got the accent, he plays Luther, and he's fucking amazing in it. And so I don't know. All right. The last bit of news that I have here is we haven't done the podcast for a while, so there's been a bit of some DC shakeups happening.
oh yeah.
So I just figured we have a little bit of just talks about some of the shakeups. So a while ago we were talking about that DC needs their Feige, or you know what I mean. They need their guy, and we threw Jeff Johns' name in there. Right? I think I did. I was like, but he's not a movie guy. I was like, he's a comic guy. You need a movie and comic guy like a Kevin Smith. So I guess they decided to mix a movie guy with a comic guy, and now we have two guys.
So basically, tag team.
Yeah, we have two tag team guys controlling, in charge of DC film. It's John Berg, Jeff Johns. On top of all that, Charles Roven, who was a part of the Nolan trilogy, Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, and the next Wonder Woman film, is being taken off as producer going forward for any film that is not a sequel to something he was a previous producer on. Those are some three pretty big shakeups. we talked a while ago about the Flash director leaving because of creative differences and the rumors about James Wan and the Aquaman problems, and then the fact that they moved Ben Affleck to a producer role now,
Executive producer.
executive producer, but we all know he's going to be behind the camera. Like, I mean, I think so. I'm hoping to God that's what's happening.
I doubt it.
I'm hoping. And then we also had the thing about rumors saying that now that Warner Brothers is trying to hone down Zack Snyder's vision and it's changing, and a bunch of things are happening. So I guess first I wanted to ask Dylan, because you are the more positive one for the DCU. What do these shakeups do anything for you in any sense? Are you excited about them? Do they worry you?
So when Ben Affleck was announced as the executive producer, I was like, oh, well, that's not a good sign considering they're changing who's producing the movie like a month into the shoot. And then unless they had that like set in stone before they just announced it, I don't know, it's weird. Them setting up the Kevin Feige like figure, but they're having it be Jeff Johns and John Berg, but neither of them are answering to the same boss.
Yeah, that was
so
weird.
that's so,
And
so that's
also,
really concerning.
Both of them will be overseeing day-to-day operations on the movies. I forgot to mention that. That's what it was said in the quote.
Okay. I mean, I'm in favor of Jeff Johns doing like playing out the story and making sure all the characters make sense and like proofreading the scripts. I think that's good.
And making sure we get a brighter Superman.
Yeah, which I think we'll surely get in Justice League. And
I hope.
I don't know. I guess my biggest concern, considering it doesn't even seem like they're even being that much more organized, it's just they're like giving more people titles. I guess my biggest concern is that I was really excited for the DCU because they said that a lot of these movies were going to be very filmmaker driven, and I thought from what we've seen so far, like BVS was a Zack Snyder film, and I think Suicide Squad, if they let David Ayer release what he wants to release, will be a David Ayer film. And I was excited to see that strong like filmmaker vision in each of these films with these stories that we love. But I feel like it'll be better for the universe at large if they can organize it. I'm just not very optimistic that that they actually are organized. I think it's more they just gave more people titles. And I'm just like hoping it works.
I'm trying to find a quote that Jeff Johns said about Snyder. It felt like a shot, but I can't find it.
I hope it was a shot, but
No,
I think
it was something. You can say your thing while I look for
I
it.
think I think this is exactly what DC needs. I mean, on my own podcast that I started 2 weeks ago, actually, I say that like this is something we really need because like the whole like them trying to say their movies are director driven is it's kind of bullshit, because you can't let directors
I actually disagree. I actually think that is what they were doing though. I don't think it was bullshit. I think they were just saying, here, make whatever movie you want.
No, I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm saying that let them do that is bullshit, because you can't just have directors go free reign with a property that you gotta at least abide by a few rules. And the whole thing of like we're not as creative as we're not as like controlling as Marvel is bullshit as well, because a lot the best Marvel movies have traits from the directors. Like
I agree.
Like because like the soundtrack for Guardians of the Galaxy, that was James Gunn. The humor for the Avengers was Joss Whedon. The fact that Iron Man 3 was set during Christmas was Shane Black, and the fact that 2 Community alumni cameoed in Winter Soldier and Civil War was the Russo brothers.
Yeah, I know it's possible, and Marvel is the gold standard for making these cinematic universes.
So,
I was just excited to see everyone's vision.
I mean, I think this is like a great thing for DC, because they finally have someone who's steering the ship, and it's not Zack Snyder.
But they're not even answering to the same person.
Yeah, that is the
They're
word.
answering to two different departments. So what happens when John Berg and Jeff Johns disagree, and then they go their higher up? They're going to 2 different higher ups. Do those 2 higher ups then argue over the same point, or like?
Well, they're
what
obviously
happens?
hired. They're obviously hired to get shit in line. So I'm sure like they'll trust Jeff Johns, who has experience with these characters to an extent, to go, okay, we trust you, man.
Well, yeah, but they hired 2 people, not 1.
Yeah, because they need somebody who's more experienced in the film aspect.
And actually,
because
I got it wrong. It said Berg is the one that's going to be overseeing day-to-day operations, not Johns. So I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can't find the thing, but I remember it went something along the lines. Somebody asked Snyder what Johns about what his thoughts were about BVS, and he pointed out saying he doesn't understand, and because it's not rocket science or something. Like it was something like that. Not a shot, but not a compliment. I mean, like he was saying, like you know these. I can't find it, but it was like, you know these characters, you know what they are. It's not rocket science. You have the source material, so he doesn't understand, and that's how it ended. So it wasn't praising Zach, but it wasn't calling him out. But the fact that he said it was like not rocket science, and you have the source materials, use it. It was things of that nature, and it was around the time when he got this. So I found that interesting. I remember, I don't know where I saw that, but I was like, wow, like why would they let him? First off, why would they let him say that or not coach him and say, yo, dude, we still have Snyder on board. We still need this other one to do a lot of money.
Well, did you see that? Like, I didn't read the article, but apparently Jeremy Irons thought that BVS deserved, like,
Yeah, that was
not to
another
make money.
Yeah, that was another one.
Whatever
Like,
it said.
it's weird because I don't like, people have the joke that when you're on Marvel movies, you say anything, there's snipers on your ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's snipers just waiting for you to fuck up for Marvel. But for DC,
yeah, that's not just Marvel. That's Disney overall.
But then for DC though, their people are not like on the big, like on that kind of leash. It's just weird. It's like, why wouldn't you say, hey guys, like, we get it, we fucked up here, and we're fixing it. But you know, don't like, you can't have Jeff Johns or Irons say like it's rocket science or this one movie shouldn't have made any money when the director is still on board. Like, they didn't fire Snyder. Snyder is still making this movie.
I just also looked up
Snyder
the quote,
feel?
and he said that that the movie was overstuffed and there's too much going on. But he also said that the next one, so Justice League, the next script is like smaller and like more linear.
And then he went on to say, at least I'm getting a good paycheck.
But my thing is,
That's
so how much Zack Snyder feel with all of this? Like, dude, you made a movie, and like now it's like you must have got caught into The Office several times, or even, I mean, I'm hoping you did. I don't love Zack Snyder's movies, but I'm hoping they at least did the respectful thing and told him beforehand, not things just happen and then dudes just start showing up on set like, oh yeah, I'm overseeing the process. Oh yeah, Ben, you want any input over here? Like, I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm hoping all these shakeups are for the better, because you just can't have, like, there's just things you can't do. Like, I don't care that Superman kills. I don't care. I get it. It's not in his thing. He did it. It's fine. I don't care if you want a darker toned Superman. That's fine. But
it ain't fine.
But no humor in a fucking Superman movie, or no joy, or Superman not at least having hope. You know what I mean? That's my problem, and several other things. But yeah, I mean, they must be very disappointed because they didn't crack $1 billion, and there is early buzz about Suicide Squad, but that means nothing to me. But good word about it so far. We'll see what that means later on.
Well, I mean, we've been down that road before. I mentioned that in my show, like, where Suicide Squad's been getting good word of mouth, and I'm like, wow, I've heard this with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman before. I'm not believing a word until I see the movie myself.
I didn't even believe I didn't even believe when it was for Civil War.
Batman v Superman?
For Civil War, I was like,
oh,
I
really?
don't even. I'm like, hey man, you never know.
That was actual critics though.
Yeah, I didn't care. I mean, I was worried.
People had reviews 3 weeks before the movie came out.
That's true.
I trust critic reviews. I don't trust audience reviews. So when Suicide Squad, when those articles came out, I was like, I don't care. And then Warcraft had the same thing. So Warcraft is a 20% Rotten Tomatoes right
Yeah.
now.
My God, it's so
Yep.
bad right now. Dear Jesus. I'm so hurt. But all right. But
Luckily, I don't have to see it.
that brings us to the end of the news. Let's head over to Blu-ray and DVDs and see what we have coming out that's worth watching.
Oh wait, I have one story
What
to
do you
say
got?
real quick. Kung Fury 2 is being made, and I can't wait.
Oh,
That's it.
that is cool. Is it going to be over
What
30
the
minutes?
fuck is Kung Fury 2?
You
it's
don't.
it's a YouTube.
Have you seen Kung Fury?
It's actually on Netflix actually.
Yeah. It's on Netflix.
It's
on
a
YouTube.
weird ass 80s style. I don't even know how to describe it. What is
It's
it?
basically Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon if it was made into like a like a $500,000 like 20-minute movie.
Yeah,
I have no idea
what's
what any
another
of
way
those
to- what's
things are
another
you
way to
just
descri-
said.
It's a I don't know how else to describe it. It's weird. It is like that. It's
Is there
I don't know. It's hard to describe it. But what do we got on Blu-ray this week, Alexander? Anything special while Dylan looks something up real quick? I'm seeing a few things.
Not a great batch of stuff.
Oh
And
man,
really, I can just
I was looking at next week.
Yeah.
Oh man, son of a
Yeah,
bitch. I thought I was getting all
yeah.
excited.
We're looking at May 31st.
I was getting excited. All right, what do
the
you got?
There-
official
May
film
31st.
synopsis for Kung Fury is a kung fu cop travels back in time to kill Adolf Hitler.
Bam.
And he also
Damn,
goes
you are
back to the time of the dinosaurs.
That's all you gotta
It's
know.
great. You should watch it.
It's stupid as fun.
Damn, you are still fixed up on that Kung Fury.
He was-
shit when
it's
we're
so
already-
good.
It's so stupid, but it's fun. All right, yeah. Oh my god. Now I'm disappointed because
Yeah, there really ain't jack shit coming
I was
out
looking
this
at next
week,
week's
but
stuff
if-
and I was happy. Now it's like disappointing.
But if you want, I don't even know what next week is. But if you want to know, I'll just go through them really briefly. We have we have the Road trilogy from the Criterion Collection. We have Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. We have Gods of Egypt, which the only good thing about that movie is the double toasted review. We have the Human Tornado. We have Race, and that's
999.
pretty much it.
and 999.
I don't even know what 999 is.
999.
it's
that all-star cast film.
Yeah. Who was the director? It was from the director did something good before.
This movie
We're
wasn't
being
good though.
excited to see this. Yeah, I heard this was bad. But can we go back
The
to last
director,
week? 'Cause we missed last
he's
week.
the director of Lawless and The Road. So good,
Oh,
pretty good
okay.
films. Well, before we do that, let me say some things about
2 weeks ago.
I will be seeing 999. I definitely want to see that. And I will be seeing Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and I will also be seeing Race. You couldn't pay me to watch Gods of Egypt. Sorry, I just don't
Okay.
give two shits.
I'll see it.
What if
I'll
it's
take the
what if
bullet.
it's on Netflix? Huh?
No, I don't give her. I don't care. There's plenty of bad movies. Like, there's movies I want. I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in a Sand and Sandals film, and you're giving me a bad one. Like, no, I'm sorry, no. Like, you got to give me something worth watching. So yeah, those are the ones I'm interested in. Because 999 looked good, not good, just okay. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies looked stupid. Oh, it's okay from what I hear. And then Race looked good, but also just okay from what I hear. So all pretty okay movies from what I'm hearing. What came out last week before we move on here?
Or, well,
Last week, I can go over that.
Wait,
Last-
you were saying
oh.
You were saying 2 weeks ago or last week? Did
I was there was one movie 2 weeks ago I wanted to talk
Oh,
about
is it The
because
Witch?
we missed
2
that
weeks
show.
ago.
The Witch?
The Witch.
Okay, yeah.
Have-
I will be. I didn't know that came out yet. That came out pretty fast.
Yeah, I have it right here. Pre-ordered the Blu-ray because I love the movie so much. Have either of you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it. I want to.
No, sell us on this shit.
You don't gotta
This
sell me.
movie-
It looks creepy as fuck.
So I don't generally like horror films, but I like horror films when they're done well. This movie terrified the living fucking shit out of me. Like I just saw it because I was like, oh sure, movie pass, sure, I'll go to theater and see something. And I heard The Witch got really good reviews. I think at Sundance the previous year. So I saw it here, and it's not horror in the sense that there's jump scares that will freak you out. It's the movie slowly builds, and it's very tense. And there's this amazing horror scene about like 10 minutes into the movie that sets the tone. And it's a prequel of sorts to the like Salem witch trials of that happened in
Yeah.
the late 18th century. And Uh, it's directed very well. The performances are great. There are multiple scenes that still stick out to me. The ending I thought was very effective. Um, it's really interesting. It's really well done because the entire time you're like, what's real, what's not.
From what
At
I hear,
points,
it's the It Follows of horror movies this year. Like the must watch
yeah, it
horror
is.
film of the
And
year.
I didn't even like I saw It Follows and I liked it, but I didn't like love it or adore it. This movie, I was like on the edge of my seat. I was on the edge of my seat with my hands over everything but my eyes, basically.
Yeah, I
Because
heard.
I was like terrified, but I couldn't look away at the same time. I walked out of the theater and I had like to catch my breath for a good like half minute. I was like, okay, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking that out. I didn't know that movie came out. It must be on demand though.
Yeah, it is.
Last week nothing really came out really. We had Zoolander 2 and
The Finest Hours.
and How to Be Single. I want to see How to Be Single because I like the cast, and I want to see The Finest Hours because usually these Disney films about based on true stories aren't bad and they're pretty decent. So I'll be checking that out. And yeah, I
I
mean,
agree.
you can look at what's coming out next week, Alexander, and you'll see what I was excited about because there was just a lot of greatness over there. So
I did.
yeah, I'm like,
But we'll talk about that next week.
or at least one greatness. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. Alexander, what have you been working on in the past weeks? You have a ton of reviews. Anything special? I mean, you mentioned your show.
Oh, God, what have I not been working on? Okay, let me actually go to my YouTube channel because I've done so much since we last recorded that I don't even remember.
I know you have your new
Um,
show. You have a bunch of reviews, a ton of stuff.
Yes. Okay. Here's what I have. As soon as it loads, Dylan, why don't you pimp your stuff out while my channel loads?
Okay, well, I have a podcast, still making a podcast, and it's on Stitcher, iTunes, Podbean. Um, at least I think it's on Stitcher. I'm not sure if I got approved yet. It's on YouTube as well. I've been really lazy in releasing episodes, but school's almost over, and I'll be more. I'll release more, like in the coming weeks or so. I'll probably have a few episodes, if not like 2 episodes a week of that. I'm working on some other videos to put out this summer. Follow me on Twitter at Dylan Mickanen, DYLANMICKANE, and let's talk movies. I tweet a lot about basketball because I love basketball. Yeah, that's about it. Follow me there. YouTube.com/TableCowProdigy. Yeah.
Okay, so here-
I'll mention for me because I don't really have anything. I have a top 10 coming out that's already done. It's a Zac Efron one. It's gonna be coming out probably Tuesday because tomorrow's Memorial Day, and I'm gonna try to get another one out by the end of the week. So be on the lookout for that. And also, I haven't done some wrestling stuff this in a while, but that's because I've been trying to tweak a different format for it. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have my format set for my new way of doing my wrestling reviews, discussions. So that's what I got coming up. Alexander?
Okay, here's what I have going. I finished reviewing all the X-Men movies in prep for X-Men Apocalypse, even though I reviewed X-Men The Last Stand and First Class after I posted my Apocalypse review, so that's the power of press screenings, early press screenings. I started a new podcast on my own, the Alexander Robinson Movie News Show, which is kind of like this, except it's just me, and I'm able to more detailedly talk about the bits of news. I have a random free play of Grand Theft Auto 5. I have my review for The Nice Guys, Alice Through the Looking Glass, my spoiler review for Captain America the Winter Soldier. I have another random Let's Play coming Tuesday. I won't say what it is, but my next full Let's Play won't be coming up until a couple weeks from now. So I know what it is. I may have already spoiled it in one of my videos, but I won't say what it is here. You're just going to have to figure that out on my channel somehow. And then you can also follow me on therealmrrobinson.com. Also, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, Rip.tv. And with Riff.tv, I realized that Adam Sandler's latest movie is coming out, so I'm going to try to do a drunk commentary on that.
Oh, on his The Do-Over?
The Do-Over.
Yeah,
Yes.
that came out on Netflix on Friday?
Friday.
Yeah,
so I'm going to try to do it.
I was going to watch it.
So I'm going to try to do a drunk commentary on that. So maybe this week.
Yeah, it is terrible, though, just letting you know. Like,
Oh, is it?
it's They did a rank.
Well, it's Adam Sandler.
Collider did a ranking, and of the 13 best movies Adam Sandler has on Netflix, it came in at number 12. So yeah,
Damn.
it's bad.
Was 13 the ridiculous 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
How's that going?
I hated the ridiculous 6. So I thought this looked actually better. So I'm actually shocked. So I'd be interested if you would do that on Riff. You said, Alexander.
Huh?
Where would you do the where are you gonna do the commentary if you do it?
Riff.tv, yeah?
Yes,
it's
I-
this,
I would-
for those of you who don't know what Riff.tv is, it's this, I think it's still up. I haven't done anything in a long time on there, but it's this new site. Yeah, it's up, where you can do picture-in-picture commentaries on Netflix shows, which I feel like Riff.tv is getting underused because it's just people watching Netflix shows and not really having anything to say or do.
Well, let me know when you do that thing because I would love to watch you watch that movie, and I think it'd be funny as fuck. So,
All right.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys check us out. Movie Backlot Podcast, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, everywhere podcasts are available except for Google Play. I will try to do that sometime soon. On YouTube, if you want to check out and look at our pretty faces. Can't really do the website. Like I usually used to do the us and then also like what we were looking at, and somehow that's not working recently. So hopefully I'll fix that by next week.
Huh.
And make sure you guys check us out, and we'll be back next week to talk movies. See ya.
Peace.
Bye.